What's up, guys? It's me, Tiff, and sorry I haven't been making videos recently. I literally just got back from ETH Denver, and I'm really struggling. It was a lot of not sleeping, a lot of drinking, a lot of fun, but I now feel like a shell of my former self. But so much crazy shit has been happening with the SBF stuff, so let's try to get caught up. But first, a quick word from my sponsor, Aura. Crypto is obviously full of scammers, and Aura is a company that actually protects you from scammers and hackers by scanning the web and the dark web for your sensitive information like your emails, passwords, social security numbers, home address, and alerts you immediately if it finds anything, as well as automatically requests removal for you. Aura actually found some of my personal passwords, as well as my home address and phone number, leaked in multiple places on the internet and on the dark web, and they automatically requested removal for me. Aura's actually got a ton of other useful features like a password manager, a VPN, financial fraud protection, identity theft protection, all wrapped into one package so you don't have to have like 8 different subscriptions to things. So I'm actually a huge fan of Aura, and I think you could get a lot out of a 14-day free trial, even if just to check and see if your sensitive information has been leaked anywhere on the web or on the dark web. So to access that, you can go to aura.com/Tiffany, or you can use this handy little QR code. So now back to the video, because Sam Bankman-Fried has recently been hit with 4 new criminal charges, in addition to the original 8 charges he got from the Department of Justice. This recently unsealed, superseding indictment brings his total count of criminal charges to a whopping 12. Some of the original 8 criminal charges have been slightly modified or made more specific, so in addition to a lot of counts related to wire fraud and money laundering, Sam's new criminal charges include conspiracy to commit bank fraud, conspiracy to operate an unlicensed money transmitting business, conspiracy to make unlawful political contributions, and defraud the FEC, which I was actually cited in that original FEC complaint because he admitted to me that he donated a lot of money dark to Republicans. So I will play that little clip right here.
I donated to both parties. I donated about the same amount to both parties this year. That was not generally known because despite Citizens United being literally the highest profile Supreme Court case of the decade and the thing everyone talks about when they talk about campaign finance, for some reason, in practice, no one can possibly fathom the idea that someone in practice actually gave dark. So, I don't know, all my Republican donations were dark. People won't see them. And the reason was not for regulatory reasons. It's because reporters freak the fuck out if you donate to a Republican. They're all super liberal and didn't want to have that fight. So I just made all the Republican ones dark. But I was, whatever, second or third biggest Republican donor this year as well. But also, it's all for the primaries. They didn't give anything in general elections. They don't give a shit about general elections. It's not what matters. Like, it's the primaries where you have good candidates against bad candidates.
So, according to CNBC, if Sam Bankman-Fried is found guilty of these 4 new criminal charges, he could face an additional 40 years in prison. His original 8 charges from the Department of Justice apparently carried a maximum sentence of 115 years in prison. So, just doing the math here, with these additional 4 charges, he could potentially face up to 155 years in prison. So, basically life. So let's get into these new bank fraud charges, because back when FTX launched in 2019, they did not have their own bank accounts because most banks did not want to work with crypto companies. So to get around this, FTX customers were instructed to wire money into Alameda's bank accounts and were then credited on FTX. According to the indictment, Alameda never informed the banks where the accounts were held that these bank accounts were now being used for FTX customer deposits and withdrawals. Apparently, FTX made efforts to open up their own bank accounts, but according to the indictment, Bank One, which we can assume is Silvergate Bank, apparently refused to open an account for FTX customer deposits and withdrawals because they were not yet registered federally as a money services business. According to the indictment, in order to get around this, Sam Bankman-Fried allegedly directed the incorporation of a new US-based entity called North Dimension. According to the indictment, Sam was listed as the sole owner, CEO, and president of North Dimension, and it had no employees or business operations outside of its bank account. So, in case anyone has looked up North Dimension's website, which I think has now been taken down, it was apparently just some sort of scammy-looking fake electronic store that didn't actually sell electronics. And basically, again, because FTX did not yet have their own bank accounts, North Dimension was used to transmit and receive FTX customer funds. The superseding indictment then goes in deep on his allegedly unlawful political contributions to acquire bipartisan influence, stating that Sam Bankman-Fried used Alameda to siphon off FTX customer funds to deploy them for political causes. Allegedly, in order to avoid certain political contributions being publicly linked to his name, allegedly Sam Bankman-Fried made certain political contributions in the names of two other FTX executives. Here it says CC1 and CC2, but I think we can assume that they're referring to Ryan Salame and Nishad Singh. The indictment claims that Sam Bankman-Fried and his co-conspirators made over 300 political donations totaling tens of millions of dollars, and that they were unlawful because they were made in the name of a straw donor or paid for with corporate funds. As we know, Sam Bankman-Fried already pleaded not guilty to the original 8 charges from the Department of Justice, and I would imagine he will plead not guilty to these 4 additional charges. But in more bad news for Sam Bankman-Fried, another member of his inner circle has now turned on him. Former top executive and director of engineering Nishad Singh recently pleaded guilty to 6 conspiracy charges, including conspiracy to commit wire fraud, conspiracy to commit money laundering, and conspiracy to violate federal campaign finance laws. So Nishad Singh is now the 3rd member of Sam Bankman-Fried's inner circle to turn on him, in addition to Gary Wang and Caroline Ellison. So all have pleaded guilty and are cooperating with prosecutors. So it's really not looking so good for Sam Bankman-Fried. I'll try to make another video about this soon because so much has been happening in the FTX and SBF sagas, so stay tuned. To keep up to date, you can follow me on Twitter or Substack or Instagram. And also want to remind you that you can get a 14-day free trial with my sponsor Aura at aura.com/Tiffany or using this QR code. I genuinely love Aura and I'm a big fan and I use them myself. But anyway, I hope you're all having a lovely day and I'll talk to you all very, very soon. Bye. This is my Marvel style end credit scene. And here I'll probably put some random video of ETH Denver and I'll make a full video on ETH Denver soon. But here you go.
What's going on? We out here at ETH Denver having a good time.
This is my new friend, Tala.
What's up, y'all?
That's right?
Good to see you.
How you doing?
Hello, and yes,
Gil.
we're at the 1-inch booth right now.
The one securing the bags, and the bags are being secured. That's how it goes.